Welcome to Balance. We're going to talk about attachment and our attachment styles. And we're going to start with apart from a quote from a Hello Prince by Antoine de Saint Exupéry. The Little Prince says, "I'm looking for friends." And asked the fox, What does that mean, tame?" "It's an act too often neglected," said the fox. "It means to establish ties." "To establish ties?" asked the Little Prince. "Just that," said the fox. "To me, you are still nothing more than a little boy, who is just like 100,000 of other little boys. And I have no need of you, and you, on your part, have no need of me. To you, I'm nothing more than a fox, like 100,000 other foxes. But if you tame me, then we shall need each other. To me, you will be unique in all the world. To you, I shall be unique in all the world." This quote introduces us to thinking about the bond between people, how we attach. John Bowlby and his followers theorized and observed infants and young children seeking closeness and safety with their caregivers. They noticed that a caregiver needs to be sensitive and responsive to infants' non-verbal communication. Young children use attachment figures as their secure base. And from that secure base, they can play and explore the outside world, and then return to the safe base. Parental responses lead to the development of attachment patterns and to the development of internal working models. The internal working models is another name for the part of our inner solar system, the solar system we talked about. And these internal working models contribute to how we behave and how we feel in later relationships. Basically, they are the relationship between the objects. Attachment rupture happens in childhood when child needs for safety are not met by the caregivers. These may happen, for example, when caregivers are abusive or absent, but also when a child is away, for example, in a hospital for medical procedure for a long period of time, when mom has a prolonged periods of depression or any serious mental health issues, when caregivers are addicted, when parents go through a difficult divorce, when family isn't safe, for example, in war zones, and so on and so on. Even an attachment rupture can happen when there is an intergenerational trauma that wasn't healed in generations. For example, when internalized violence is unconsciously passed on to the next generations. So then the younger generations have the disturbed attachment patterns but have no memories of what happened. especially when the older generation did not talk about their trauma. What if we go through a simple attachment questionnaire? If you don't mind, please grab a pen and a piece of paper, or just note on your phone. I'll use descriptions from Dynamic Interpersonal Therapy. We're going to talk about 4 styles. And if the style is not at all like you, then just put 1. But if it's very much like you, then you might score 7. So it's a scale from 1 to 7, and you can see where you are on the scale when I'm reading the description of the style. So let's read the description of this style. Let's call it style A. It's easy for me to become emotionally close to others. I'm comfortable depending on them and having them depending on me. I do not worry about being alone or having others not accept me. And now score from 1 to 7. 1, not like you. 7, very much like you. Style B. I'm uncomfortable getting close to others. I want emotionally close relationships, but I find it difficult to trust others completely or to depend on them. I worry that I will be hurt if I allow myself to become too close to others. And now score from 1 to 7. 1, not like you. 7, very much like you. Attachment style C. I want to be completely emotionally intimate with others, but I often find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like. I'm uncomfortable being without close relationship, but I somehow worry that others don't value me as much as I value them. And now score 1 to 7. Attachment style D. I'm comfortable without close emotional relationship. It's very important to me to find independent and self-sufficient. And I prefer not to depend on others or have others depend on me. And now score from 1 to 7. Now, attachment style A, it's a secure style attachment. So if you scored very high on in that attachment style, it means that your attachment is safe, secure. Attachment style B and attachment style C are both anxious attachments, and attachment B has got a fearful pattern, so it's anxious, fearful, and attachment style C is attachment style anxious, preoccupied. Attachment style D is a description of attachment style avoidant. So in this questionnaire, we have got attachment styles safe, B and C are anxious, fearful and preoccupied, and D avoidant. The last attachment pattern that the dynamic interpersonal therapy does not mention, the questionnaire doesn't mention that, it's a disorganized attachment pattern. And the disorganized attachment pattern might be a result of a severe trauma, severe harm, or severe neglect. The signs are and behaviors are like wanting to connect with others but withdrawing in shame, withdrawing even when communicating or having ideas that might not be clear, or they might be very confusing to others, generally behaving in a confusing and contradictory way, and behaving in a confusing and contradictory way in relationship. Difficulties with self-regulation, being clingy one moment and distant the next. The disorganized attachment patterns is usually connected to personality disorders. It's important to know your attachment style and your partner's attachment style if you are in a relationship. If you have a very different attachment style, this might cause additional anxieties in your relationship. For example, if your style is anxious preoccupied and your partner's style is avoidant, you might interpret your partner's avoidant style as a rejection, when in fact it is just a self-regulating strategy on a part of the partner who has got an avoidant attachment style. Speak to you in the next session.